Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. And today we're going to be talking about Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius. This is a very anticipated moment. There's a lot of powerful shifts that we're going to be experiencing as Pluto enters into Aquarius. Pluto, as many who watch this channel may know, takes about 248 years to make a complete round around the zodiac. That means going through all 12 signs of the zodiac. So Pluto is in each sign for quite a chunk of time, roughly around 18 years. And of course it varies. 15 to 18 years is sort of the standard, but it can be any length of time. There are signs that Pluto will move through in 10 years. There are signs that Pluto will take 20 years to move through. So he kind of does what he wants, and it's not going to be a one-size-all-fits sort of thing. But with this particular transit in the sign of Aquarius, Pluto is going to be entering for the first time on March 23rd, 2023. Yes, 32323 for everyone who's following the binary code sequencing here. And Pluto will remain in the sign of Aquarius until 2043. And then from between 2043 and 2044, Pluto will be moving back and forth between Aquarius and Pisces until anchoring firmly into Pisces in 2044, I do believe. I'm going to go through all these dates for you guys as far as where Pluto is going to be retrograding back and forth into the final degrees of Capricorn and then back into Aquarius again, when that's going to complete and Pluto will no longer be retrograding back into Capricorn, because all of these events have a significance. I want to talk, before we talk about the significance of the retrograding back and forth in the first years of Pluto entering a sign, I want to talk about a larger sequence of events, or a larger cycle, if you will. And this was something that was channeled to me that's not commonly, it's not common astrological fact, if you will, but something that came through back in 2020 for me was this idea that Pluto plays a very important part when it comes to the beginning of an age, an astrological age, and the completion of an astrological age. And so we are moving and really anchoring into the age of Aquarius, and we've been in this process for a few years now. Starting in 2020, we had some powerful astrological events that helped to really open up this age of Aquarius timeline and move us into that age. But Pluto entering Aquarius, as far as the channelings that I'm receiving, is really where we're stepping into that age. Of course, the age of Pisces is still active. These ages overlap, so it's not like we close out one and we jump right into the other. Kind of like the way Pluto goes back and forth between these final degrees as he's retrograding in that first year or so that Pluto is entering a new sign. The astrological ages work similarly. And so we have been closing out the age of Pisces as we've been in this beginning to open up the age of Aquarius. And Pluto is, as far as I can tell, kind of like one of the last pieces of that puzzle. So Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius is really going to open up those age of Aquarius energies and begin this first layer of purification of these energies. Pluto will move through the sign of Aquarius. I did the math here. It's something like 104 or 105 times during the age of Aquarius before finally doing that final clearing of the age of Aquarius. As those of you who follow the astrological ages are aware, they're roughly 26,000 years each, and the astrological ages move backwards, very similarly to the way that the nodes work. And so we're moving from the age of Pisces backwards into the age of Aquarius, and then the age of Capricorn will come after the age of Aquarius. And so we can see this energy here as Pluto is moving into, we'll use the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius as an example. He is moving into that this first round during this new cycle of the Aquarius energies, to begin the first level of purification of these energies. And then we'll be moving into Pisces, where he will complete his final round of purification around the energies of Pisces and the age of Pisces energies. So we dig a little deeper every time Pluto comes through this sign as we're working through these astrological ages. So Pluto in this age of Aquarius is really opening up these energies for us aligning us collectively with this age of Aquarius energy. And then we'll move into Pisces and complete that process of this last level of purification of the age of Pisces energies. And then we'll continue doing these laps until a new astrological age begins and he comes back around. Like I said, about that 104th, 105th time or so to really clear out and purify that final layer of those Aquarian energies. And so it's going to be really interesting. And every time Pluto passes through, there's a deeper layer that is being worked on, a deeper layer of shadow being revealed, a deeper layer of light that is then able to rise to the surface, a more powerful illumination. Remember, Pluto is a planet that represents power. Pluto represents wealth. Pluto represents the shadow, and it really ultimately represents, to most astrologers, our soul's evolutionary journey. It is a collective planet, but it has very personal energies for each and every one of us as well. So we're going to see when these planets, these outer planets such as Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, move into a sign, we see a more collective experience. We see it most powerfully felt in the collective, but of course we feel it in our own lives as well. And Pluto does a very slow and very powerful job of bringing through that creation destruction energy wherever it is in our charts that Pluto is tracing. In our own lifetimes, we will only see Pluto move through a handful of signs. We will never have a Pluto return in our lifetime unless we move into the new Earth and our lifespan is extended far beyond what it is now, which is of course possible. From many things that I've read that have resonated with me, the human lifespan was not meant to be this short originally, and we are going to be able to elongate that and choose the time when we transition from our human, although it won't be the human body that we're used to now, right? It will be from the Homo sapien to the Homo luminous, but we will get to choose when we transition from that moving forward here. But as far as what we have been experiencing so far, we won't see that. We will never have a Pluto return, but we will have Pluto move through several places in our chart throughout our lifetime, and we can see these as huge cycles or segments in our own lives as well as in the collective. There are a lot of astrologers who actually consider generations of people, of souls being born, as being ruled by Pluto placements. And so each generation of people is determined by the sign that Pluto was in when they were born. And that's been a really fun thing that I've been looking into and discovering more about recently, is just the different generations and how they're marked by these Pluto transits. And so we have a brand new generation of souls now being born from March 23rd on. And the way that I see the generations is I see it, I take the cusp energy into consideration there, because of the way these energies work, like souls that have been born in the past few years, in the way that I see and feel the generational energies related to Pluto, are kind of on the cusp of the Pluto in Capricorn generation and the Pluto in Aquarius generation. Now, before we get into too much else, I'm going to read through the dates as far as Pluto's transits and what's going on here. Because over the next year, over the next year until 2024, Pluto is going to be moving backward. When Pluto goes retrograde, Pluto will be retrograding from 0 degrees of Aquarius back into the sign of Capricorn. I think 27 degrees is as far as Pluto goes. Yeah, is as far as Pluto goes back into Capricorn. And I am going to link for you guys, for anyone who's interested. I did a reading of the, there are these symbols that are similar to the Sabian symbols, but it's a little bit different. And so it's this channeled material relating to, like, imagery and words relating to each of the degrees of the zodiac. And the book that I read that from, I tell you in the video, I can't remember what it's called right now, but I did that for the Pluto energies of these different degrees of Capricorn into 0 degrees of Aquarius. And it was really profound, the readings and how they resonated and how they show what we are experiencing on a collective level. So I'm going to link that for any of you guys who are interested who did not catch that video. But as we move back and forth here, Pluto is moving. It's moving between these later degrees of Capricorn and this 0 degree of Aquarius, really tying this energy together, tying up any loose ends in Capricorn, And I didn't look up for you guys when it was that Pluto entered Capricorn, but it was somewhere between 15 and 18 years ago, I think. If somebody knows and they want to drop that in the comments below, it's been a long time, since like early 2000, I think, was when Pluto entered into Capricorn. And so this has been a process, right? And as Pluto has moved through the sign of Capricorn, Pluto has been purifying these energies of Capricorn. Pluto has been doing what Pluto does, breaking down what's not working so that something new can be generated, right? These cycles of life and death, of death and rebirth. This is what Pluto does, revealing what needs to be revealed. Showing, remember, Capricorn is a sign that represents authority and sometimes authoritarianism, right? It represents structures. It represents all of these authorities. And so Pluto has been revealing the truth underneath these systems that we've created and how it is that those are helping or hindering our own soul's advancement, our own soul's evolution. So there's been a lot that's been revealed. We've seen in these later years of Pluto the crumbling down of that system. And that really, we started to see that in earnest in 2020 when Pluto and Saturn were conjunct in the sign of Capricorn. I want to say, what was that? What degree of Capricorn was that? Does somebody remember? Was it 26 degrees of Capricorn? I'm having 24 degrees, somewhere between 24 and 26 degrees, I think it was, where we had that major conjunction. And of course, we saw right around that time all of the craziness that ensued in the world, right? Like it could not, I remember it happened, I think it was in January that conjunction happened. And I was really disappointed because everyone was painting this as this big thing and it felt really big, but nothing happened right away. And then a couple months later, we saw the lockdown begin. We saw all of the craziness that we all remember very well that began in that late winter, early spring of 2020, right? And it made sense because Pluto is a slow energy. It is the slowest moving planet. There are astronomers out there who have since decided once again that Pluto is not a planet, but it is, astrologers, we heavily disagree because it has the most potent energy. All right, but that energy radiates. It's a slow burn. Think how long Pluto takes to move through a sign. All right, from those first degrees to that final degrees. And it's like a pressure cooker where the pressure it's slow, but it's exactly the right amount that's needed, and then the pressure increases as the dinner is getting ready to be served, I guess you could say. I don't know if a pressure cooker actually increases pressure as it goes. Pluto does. So that analogy may not 100% work, but you guys understand where I'm going with that energy. And so Pluto may have some loose ends to tie up in Capricorn. And by may have, I mean it does. And so we're going to be experiencing that in 2024 as Pluto dips back in and then returns to 0 degrees of Aquarius. So as we said, 32323, Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius at 0 degrees. On May 2nd, Pluto is going to go retrograde. And Pluto will hit 29 degrees of Capricorn again on June 12th of this year. Pluto will then go direct in October of this year, on October 11th, at 27 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto will then station direct. Pluto will then begin moving forward again and hit 0 degrees of Aquarius on July 18th, 2024. Let me digest everything that I just read in my mind. So retrograde, 2 degrees. Oh, okay. Let's back up here. All right. So Pluto will return to 0 degrees of Aquarius. I was jumping ahead here. Retrograde on May 2nd, hits 29 degrees of Capricorn on June 12th. Stations direct on October 11th at 27 degrees of Capricorn. Then will return to 0 degrees of Aquarius on January 22nd, 2024, 12224. Then we'll go retrograde on May 2nd again in 2024. That's where I saw the 2 May 2nds and I got confused. So May 2nd's a big day here for this. So 5/2/24, Pluto will station retrograde at 2 degrees of Aquarius. He will return to 0 degrees of Aquarius by July 18th, 2024. And then hit 29 degrees of Capricorn on September 3rd, 2024. This is Pluto's final retrograde back into Capricorn. Pluto will station direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn on October 12th, 2024, 10/12/24, 10/12/24. And then we'll hit 0 degrees of Aquarius again on 11/20/24. November 20th, 24, 112024. So we see once again these interesting sequences of numbers, right? And Pluto will remain in Aquarius until March 10th, 2043. And this is the day that Pluto will hit 0 degrees of Pisces for the first time in this cycle. January 20th, 2044 is the date that Pluto will enter Pisces once more and not retrograde back into the sign of Aquarius. All right, 12044. That's when Pluto moves into Pisces and does not leave. So yeah, powerful, powerful stuff. Powerful transitions of energy here. Powerful number sequences, right? We talked about how this year with the binary code sequence, we're moving from the 1s, the 2s, and the 0s, and now we're adding the 3s. With 2024, we'll be adding the 4s, right? So the 3s are the creation energy. The 4s traditionally are an energy of stability. But I also see this as an energy calling into question what is truly stable and what is not. So I think that's going to be really interesting, because this is what Pluto, one of the things that Pluto wants us to know, very similarly to Saturn, is the foundation solid? If the foundation's not solid, Pluto is like a tornado that is going to rip that foundation up. All right. So this is, what else do I want to talk about here? So when we're looking at Pluto, we're talking about, and we're looking at the collective energies of Pluto. We're looking at the energies of power, of wealth, of the shadow, right? Of our soul's evolution. And so we're going to see a shifting of power as Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius. And it's going to be really interesting from 2023 into 2024 to see, as Pluto shifts back from Capricorn into Aquarius with these retrogrades, that the energy of the flip-flopping of where this power is concerned. For a long time now, we have had this distribution of power, this authoritarian type of distribution of power. The power has been in the hands of the few. We've put our trust and the power to make our choices in the hands of those that we deem to have authority, right? And now Pluto has come through and had us question that, really look at that. Do these people have the right to have authority? Have they misused the authority that they've been granted, right? Is this, we've had this building of power, this building of wealth that has been very much on the individual, right? Capricorn is a very pull yourself up by your own bootstraps kind of an energy, right? As people in the United States love using that phrase, right? This energy of like, do it yourself. You work hard, you work long, you commit yourself, right? And these are not bad things. These are good qualities. But it's the energy of it has become twisted. This is where we see sort of like the twisted energy of capitalism gone awry. That America is really like a golden standard for observing that dysfunction of energy, right? We're kind of like I will say, and it's not something that other people don't understand or realize, that we are like the shining beacon of what complete capitalism run rampant, controlled by the few, right? This energy of monopoly, this energy of all these things. Really, these people that hold monopoly in the United States, they hold monopoly all over the world. Like, that's one of the things that we're coming to realize. One of the aspects of power that is being revealed to more and more people. All right. I know that there were probably people, people like to throw out that term conspiracy theorists. There were probably people who were considered that even before Pluto entered Aquarius, or Capricorn rather. But I think a lot more people started jumping on that ship, right? They started coming aboard and they started questioning some things. And that energy has really picked up speed as more and more is being revealed. And more these conspiracies are really coming to be known as fact, right? The thing is, the facts of these conspiracies aren't revealed until such a long time has passed that quite literally nobody cares anymore. You know, I see this happen in my country all the time. It's like the attention span is so short that by the time the truth comes out, nobody even cares that it's the truth anymore, because they've totally moved on from whatever the event was. So there's some tactics here, right? The truth is in plain sight for those who want to see it, but most people would prefer to turn a blind eye. And that's the energy that we've been living under for a very long time, as so many of us are aware. So as Pluto shifts into Aquarius, the energy of power is going to be focused more on groups, organizations. Aquarius is the energy that's more of the democracy. It is the energy of everybody has a voice. It's the energy of let's come together and do something that benefits the whole. In the energy of Pluto and Capricorn, it was much about the individual. Now as Pluto shifts into Aquarius, it's much more about the collective. We're being asked to look at how our actions influence the collective, how the people in power influence the collective. Are they supporting the collective, or are they hindering the collective? Are they in it just for themselves, or are they in it for the greater whole? And motive and intention is going to be of utmost importance as Pluto moves into the side of Aquarius, and we're going to see motives and intentions being revealed much, much more. And the overwhelming consensus is going to be that the motive and intention needs to be for the highest good of all. All right, we are going to see a lot more groups and organizations forming, a lot of humanitarian efforts taking stage in a brand new way. This energy, we've already been feeling it, right? But we're really going to see a shift toward that. As we move forward, of course, what is Pluto doing, especially in this first sweep of this Aquarius energy? It's bringing to light the shadow in all of these things as well. So we're going to see the shadow side of groups and organizations, right? So think like charities, where the money may not be going where you think it's going. All right. Groups that you think have one purpose, but then you find have an ulterior motive. These are the things that are going to be shown. We're going to be working through our own shadow when it comes to how we work within groups, how people can come together and share a vision and be passionate about something and make progress instead of simply fighting, right? And I'll take this back to my country, because it's the one I have the most experience with, right? Because I've lived here my whole life. You know, we see the polarization, and we see one side fighting with the other side, pretending that their views are different, when those of us in the know that it's really all a show, right? However, it appears like there's this contesting, right? In my country, we have a really difficult time hearing each other. We have a really difficult time listening and responding instead of reacting. It's very difficult to have an intelligent and heart-centered conversation, because everyone is in offensive mode all the time. Defensive and offensive mode, I guess. One or the other, or oftentimes operating out of both at the same time. So it's a real nightmare. So we're going to see energies like that come to a head, so that we can begin to learn how it is that we can actually foster an atmosphere where everybody actually feels heard, right? Not something where people feel safe to be heard and speak, but only if they say the things that are acceptable, right? That's not a true safe space. If you are afraid to say the wrong thing for fear of getting jumped all over, that's not a safe space, right? So it's like really coming to understand what these words mean and achieving something that actually represents what the intention of that is. Something else that I feel us seeing coming into fruition more as Pluto moves through Aquarius is people disconnecting from the system more, right? So we're going to see more off-grid communities, more conscious communities, more people moving away from the status quo, moving outside of the governance of these bodies and these authorities that they no longer deem work for them, and creating different things that work for them. Remember, Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, And so we're seeing a lot of those Uranian inspirations, those insights, that thinking outside the box really coming to play. And this is how we're going to accumulate wealth as well, by thinking outside the box, through humanitarian goals and efforts, through having that intention to be of service, to be working for the highest good of the all. We're also going to be gaining not only wealth, but also really stepping into our power, all as individuals and as a collective society, by embracing that which makes us unique and special, that which makes us different, by embracing our own unique gifts and abilities and the ways that we can be of service to the world. So this energy is very much about working through the shadow aspects that keep us afraid to be who we truly are, to speak our truth, to shine our light, to be individual and different, to stand out from the crowd, working through any of those old traumas, any of that stuff that prevents us from doing that, and really shining and taking ownership of our own energy, being energetically sovereign, really claiming our place and our space in the world, and then beginning to come into an understanding of how our own unique soul signature, soul light, and soul song contributes to the greater overall symphony of humanity. How we all are individual, and then how we fit together to create that collective, and how we can all support the collective most by being ourselves. So that's another beautiful energy that we're working with. Another thing that we're going to, is there something else I wanted to say about that? We will see the dark side of that as well, right? The energy of the rebel without a cause, right? This energy is all about becoming the rebel with a cause. But we may see people really trying to find new and different ways to be taboo, to be different, right? Pluto is a planet that does rule taboos, cultural taboos, and all of that different stuff. So we may see some people really trying to push the box when it comes to that as well, which is a little fascinating. But overall, the energy of Aquarius wants us to realize it's not about like going against the grain in the sense of like, oh, everybody likes this, so I can't like that. It's about, if you like it, if you don't, right? That's the true individuality, not the I'm just going to rebel against anything that's a fad, anything that the general consensus seems to see, do, or believe, because that makes me unique. No, your truth makes you unique, and that's what we're going to come to realize and understand. With the Aquarius energies, this also being ruled by Uranus, higher technologies, revolutionary technologies. So we're going to see a lot happening with technological advancements. We're going to see a lot happening with artificial intelligence. And we talk about here we have begun to talk about here, the energy of the AI and the artificial intelligence as sort of part of that virus, that matrix energy, which is very, very dark in nature. And so some of the dark and nefarious aspects of that energy are going to be revealed. And one thing that came through while I was writing this out was that the AI and the technology may reveal itself, which I thought was really interesting. And I don't have any more on that. That's just what came through, and that's all that was meant to come through right now. So I have some things that phrase sort of sparks in my brain, but I'm going to leave that to each and every person to kind of feel into that, and what that might mean in your interpretation of things, that it will reveal itself. All right, but there's a lot that's going on, a lot of ways that this technology is being used in very, very dark ways, and some of that is going to be exposed. We may see an increase in that as the old powers that used to be seek to maintain their illusion of control. All right, we may see that intensifying before it breaks, before we move beyond that energy. All right, so the attempts at the control getting more rigid, especially 23, 24, when Pluto is going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. Anything else that we want to say about that? No, we're going to learn more and more about that, though. There's going to be a lot going on with technology. We're going to learn ways that we can use it for good, and we're going to learn some of the ways that it's been used for ill, and some of the ways that it hasn't even been used yet, but certain forces and energies are wanting or planning to use it. And I do believe that we will have the opportunity to thwart any of those darker timelines that are trying to worm their way back in. All right. I was sorry. I was going to say something, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not. This video. I still have to get some clarification. But I thought it to just kind of clear the energy as we're moving forward here. Since we were talking about that. All right. So we're going to get into the cards here and see what the cards have to say. Pluto and Aquarius. Clear. We're going to be using my new tarot deck to start. This is the Lightworkers Tarot. So this is a tarot for empaths, starseeds, lightworkers. It's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. Pluto and Aquarius 2023. Well, and forward. 2023 to 2044, really. Let's get some energy here. Let's get some energy in these first, we'll say these first few years here. Let's get some energy for these first few years right off the bat, and then we'll merge into later time. Pluto and Aquarius, first few years. Let's get some energy here. Got the Four of Coins coming on. Holding tight. All right, so this is people not wanting to let go. This is the establishment digging their heels in deeper. This is people perhaps digging in their own heels because they're not wanting to let go of the old system, the old way of being, right? Clinging on to what's comfortable and familiar. And I'm seeing the cigar being held in that hand there, and the phrase, where there's smoke, there's fire, is coming to mind for some reason. My deck wants to be shuffled like this. Tell us more, Pluto and Aquarius, early years. Ooh, nose got itchy there. Pluto and Aquarius, early years. What just popped out? We have the High Priestess. Decisive intuition on this card. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor, strong leader. And as I'm seeing this, I'm feeling this energy. As we move through Pluto and Aquarius, there are going to be leaders, new leaders, people coming up. I'm feeling the energy. When I saw this card first, I felt the energy of like a very charismatic leader. Somebody perhaps spiritually oriented, or at least who appears to be spiritually oriented. Kind of coming through. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. This had like a Hitler-esque kind of a vibe to me. Like somebody who is very charismatic, who really gets people stirred up. But I'm not sure if we can trust this energy or not. I think that there's going to be a lot of, there may be more than one person like this. There are going to be people who kind of like show up. As we are demanding something different, there are going to be people that rise to the occasion to want to fulfill that for us. That's why we have to use our third eye. We have to listen with our hearts, and we have to listen with our intuition. We have to see past the facade. See past the presentation, and it was 33:33 on the clock when I said see past the facade. See past the presentation to the truth. See the energy of the person. Energy doesn't lie. All right? There are some ways that energy can lie. It can mimic like negatively polarized energy can mimic and reflect positively polarized energy in order to give the appearance that it is benevolent. But still, if we look close enough, here and here, we can see the truth of energy. So don't listen to the words, watch the energy. Listen to, pay attention up to the energy. All right, tell me some more here. Six of Swords, needed change. Yeah, there are going to be powerful changes coming through, even in these first 3 years. But we have to be careful not to be led astray by people claiming that they are offering solutions for our highest good. Things are not always what they seem. All right, I like to call it the upside down world. Now in some of the teachings that I've been learning, right, they call it the inverted matrix. What is inversion, right? It is essentially the same thing, right? We're saying the same thing. So in this upside down world, in this inverted matrix, looks are deceiving. That which appears one way is often the opposite. So make sure of that. Pay attention. The people that the media demonizes may not be what the media paints them out to be, right? Remember, they always have an agenda. The people the media bolsters up may not be all they're pretending to be either. We have to read between the lines. And we have to remember, Pluto moving into Aquarius. This isn't about the energy of putting all of our faith and all the control in the hands of the few, in the hands of a powerful figurehead, right? It's about taking that power back to the collective. It's about no longer allowing the few or the one to make decisions for the many. But there are needed changes. And so many people on a collective and also an individual level are going to be holding on tight, really resisting sometimes the changes that are necessary here. So we're going to need to loosen our grip. Ace of Coins came out inverted here because if we do that, if we hold on too tight, we're going to miss, it says missed opportunity at the top there. We're going to miss an opportunity. This says decisive intuition. This means when your intuition tells you to do something, you act. All right? So if we are refusing to follow our intuition, if we are sinking into a lack mentality, if we are so afraid of the shifts and changes happening all around us that we try to keep everything as unchanged as possible in our personal life, right? And this happens a lot, right? Big changes in the world. Let's keep everything the same at home. So that way there's something familiar. We're gonna miss out here. We're gonna miss out on an opportunity for necessary change. If we put our faith in the wrong person, the same thing will happen on a collective scale. Can you put your faith in you? Can you put your faith in spirit, your connection with your higher self, and allow that to lead you? There's that strong leader energy coming out again. Can you be the strong leader that you need in your life? Yeah. So there may be, this may be, like I said, there may be multiple people popping up who want to assist humanity moving forward. And some of these people may be genuine and benevolent and have great ideas. So look at who is wanting to involve the collective, right? Who is truly speaking for the collective and with the collective? And who is just saying the things that sound good? Who looks and sounds good at face value, but doesn't feel good? All right. And who feels good? Even if perhaps certain people, certain organizations try to paint them out. Try to make them look bad, I guess you could say. For some of us, it's like we're being initiated in these first few years of Pluto and Aquarius into becoming the leader in our own lives. Stepping into our own authority. All right, do we want one more card here? 5 of Coins, hard misfortune. Yeah, there's going to be, things are going to get dicey on a collective scale, right? Especially if what I feel is like, in these first few years of Pluto and Aquarius, we're still very much going to be stuck in that mindset of like, let's fix the broken system. And some people may come up with ideas of like how we can fix, or how we can, it's like doing the same thing that we've always done, thinking that we're doing something different, but really doing the same thing, working with the same kind of a system, when really the whole system is getting ready, needs to be overhauled, right? And there are going to be people continuing to lose the homes, to lose jobs. It's going to be rough for a lot of people. But I feel like out of this energy, the leader within is born. Somebody is coming from misfortune, from a real hard knock existence, really coming and rising. It's like this is teaching them the things that they need to know in order to be the type of force in the world that they were meant to be. It's like the school of hard knocks is kind of what I'm feeling here. Anything else? Okay. Then we have the Eight of Swords reversed, which is returning confidence. So I like that. And I like that because I was thinking moving deeper into Pluto and Aquarius when that card came out. So let's keep going with that. Moving deeper into Pluto and Aquarius here. As we move deeper into Pluto and Aquarius, let's get some energy here. All right. Needed transition, Tower reversed. And soul searching, the Hermit. All right. In this deck, we have two versions for the Tower, painful transition and needed transition. So as we continue to move through the age of Aquarius, and I'm not giving exact times because time is fluid. Timelines are always shifting and changing. All right. Giving exact dates, there's just, that's such a problematic thing. So we're looking deeper in now. All right, past the first few years of Pluto and Aquarius. All right, so we are beginning to get more clarity, right? We're beginning to gain confidence in ourselves, in our ability to create change. But there is a collective soul searching going on here. As the world is transitioning, people are really looking within. They're really having to ask themselves some difficult questions. This is like a collective, and we're already in the collective dark night of the soul, right? But there's like an intensification of this energy that comes for some. But it's more like moving through the dark night of the soul into this, I think, for those of you who follow Pete Sapper, I think he calls it the void, the spiritual void. That's what this energy here feels like as we move deeper into Pluto and Aquarius. Like a collective soul searching, a transition where each person is really getting open and vulnerable with themselves, right? Doing that shadow work. Pulling away from the systems that aren't working. Going within, taking that time. Tell me some more here. All right, we had the Lovers coming out reversed. Haunted choice. Tell me more about that. And the Knight of Swords, unstoppable force. Interesting. I think what this is referring to, this doesn't even feel with the Lovers here with this choice. This doesn't even feel like a romance thing necessarily specifically. This is more like us really searching our souls when it comes to the choices and the decisions that we've made. Understanding on a deeper level our own, remember we talked earlier about motives and intentions? Our own motives and intentions. Reevaluating what truly has meaning to us. The choices where we gave away our own power, right? Where we gave others power over us. Remember, Pluto and Capricorn transitioning into Pluto Aquarius. Power over to, we're going from power over to power with, right? The feminine form of power. Power with. All right, so we're really looking at and reviewing. It's kind of like a life review energy is what I'm feeling for a lot of people. Some people may even have like spiritual experiences where they experience this type of life review. But this whole time we're feeling ourselves, Knight of Swords, pushed forward by this unseen but unstoppable force. We're feeling that energy guiding us. And we're really looking at where it is that we have going back to this intuition card, right? Ignored our own intuition, our own truth, our own inner voice. And made choices based out of selfishness, based out of fear. Then we have Nine of Swords in reverse, accepting past trauma. Yeah. Really some deep healing. Deep healing of deep wounds here going on as Pluto moves deeper into Aquarius. Seeing, we have Ten of Cups inverted, emotionally incomplete. Seeing and understanding where we have felt incomplete, where we have felt that lack within ourselves and compensated for that in the outer world. This is where a lot of people begin shying away from materialism, where it's not so much about what they have anymore, right? Where what we value, and Uranus moving through the sign of Taurus has really been working on shifting our values as well, right? So I'm feeling the energy of that playing into this as well. Our values shifting, the ways that we value ourselves, that we value others. All right, here we go. Now we have recognized opportunity coming here with the Page of Pentacles, Page of Coins. And the Nine of Coins, although this is inverted, unfulfilled achievement. So this, I feel, is where people begin to recognize the opportunities inherent in circumstances, and even begin to, it's like understanding the opportunities for growth, even when it comes to something that you haven't fulfilled, a need, a desire within you that is unfulfilled. What is the opportunity there? What is the opportunity for more knowledge, for more growth? What virtues have we built through that experience? If we haven't achieved something that we set out to achieve, are we just going to give up, or are we going to keep going? Get some more energy here. Recognizing opportunities perhaps in the past as well, where we didn't recognize an opportunity that we had when we had it. It's kind of like that energy of like hindsight is 20/20. I feel that for some people. So beginning to see and understand where it was that we didn't see, where we missed the opportunity that was right in front of our face. But now that we have that clarity, it's going to allow us to embrace more opportunities in the future. Negative consequence, yeah. Noticing where we had negative consequences for missed opportunities, for the way that our inability to see and perceive the beauty in front of us led us to act in a way that was detrimental to the self or others. I feel like karmic energy coming back around for people too, with this Judgment reversed here. This is where people's negative karma is coming back around. I feel like this is also where more is being exposed, right? Then we have Temperance, Patient Balance now coming out upright. So there's healing here. Once we recognize the lesson, once we recognize the opportunity inherent in every circumstance, we shift that into a positive. And this is also where this what we would consider these negative consequences, what we might consider this negative karma, comes back around. It helps to even out and balance out the scales. That's why we want to be constantly thinking and setting the intention that all that we do is for the highest and best good of all. All right, with harm to none. Those who do not abide by those rules are going to reap the consequences of that. All right, tell us about as we move into the later years of Pluto and Aquarius here. Later years of Pluto and Aquarius. Okay. We have Seven of Swords reversed, but in this deck, that's self-deception. Two of Cups, or Two of Coins, rather, inverted. Reassess priorities. And the Three of Swords, severe heartbreak. Difficult decision. Two of Swords on the bottom of the deck. All right. So the energy isn't getting lighter and more... But this is Pluto that we're working with, all right? So this is the underbelly. And remember, this is the first go-round through Aquarius, right? So this is the first purification of these energies. It's going to be intense. So this is where we begin to really understand where it is that we have been lying to ourselves. As Pluto gets into these later years of Aquarius, the mask is going to start to come off. Where it is that we have deceived ourselves, right? Where we have been unable to see and accept and embrace our own truth. That energy is going to become more apparent. The truth, our own inner truth, is going to be revealed, and we are going to be reassessing our priorities. What matters? Like we said earlier, right? What has value to me? There's going to be a major collective heart chakra clearing here. That's what I'm feeling with the Three of Swords. We're going to see where we create the pain in our lives through our inability to be honest with ourselves and others. About the truth of who we are, what we need, what we want. Motives and intentions, again, like we said. All right? Then we have the Ten of Wands, heavy burden. And the Three of Coins, lesson unlearned. But what I'm feeling from this isn't that we're not learning a lesson. This lesson unlearned, to me, feels more like programming, deprogramming here. Yeah, we got the Hanged Man on the bottom of the deck, rewarded sacrifice. But the Hanged Man is also a shift in perspective, right? Doing something differently. So unlearning, really beginning to understand how it is that the programming of our society, of this world, the way we've been programmed to think, act, and believe, how that is such a heavy burden that we've all been carrying, and unlearning that energy, putting those burdens down, releasing that. This is ancestral karma that we're releasing. All right, this is all of this programming that leaves us in this energy. In this energy. Releasing that, letting that go. We have the Page of Cups underneath the Hanged Man, new excitement. This deck is pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. And then we have the Devil inverted, releasing indulgence. All right. So we're going to be really I think there is going to be a reward here as well for those who have persevered, for those who have worked tirelessly toward their goals, for those who have made sacrifices for the greater good. There's going to be positive karma coming around for that as well. I think that sacrifice is going to be rewarded. I am definitely feeling that very powerfully. Then what do we have here? The King of Coins, secure abundance. Yeah. All right. Now, I feel like I want to get another deck for the final energies here. Yeah. We can do the Intuit Tarot, and then I think I'm going to pull from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Clear. Pluto and Aquarius, final years. Let's get some cards for that. Final years of Pluto and Aquarius. I feel like finally, too, with this negative consequence and this energy here, it's like those who have worked in the shadows for the enslavement of humanity, they're going to be receiving some negative consequences as well, or some consequences befitting of the actions taken. That's what Spirit's saying. It won't be negative consequences for all. It'll be negative for those who put out negative energy and feed off of negative energy. All right, so we have the Ten of Wands coming down again, but for these final years of Aquarius. But the headline here is lay your burden down. Release, getting priorities straight, prioritizing, delegating responsibilities. Then we have the Nine of Cups, emotional fulfillment. And we have the Empress, the divine feminine. So this is power with, right? Talking about the feminine form of power. This is ultimate, right? The Empress, this is Venus energy. Venus and Taurus. All right. This is creating, this is where we are, and the sun upright on the bottom of the deck here, all right? This is beautiful. So this, in these final years of Pluto and Aquarius, there is going to be a powerful release. We're going to be in a process where we have reprioritized, right? We've let down, we've released all of those belief systems that weren't working, that programming that wasn't working. Right, we've updated our hard drive. We've really just come into this. We've gotten lighter. Okay? We've gotten lighter. We have a beautiful sense of connection and fulfillment. We understand what it truly means to be satisfied and content. We're honest with ourselves about what we want and what we need as an individual and as a society, and we've moved toward those things. And now we're in this beautiful state of creation, all right? Of fertility and creation, vitality. Oh, that is gorgeous energy. One more card here. Okay, so we have the Seven of Cups, lack of growth. I see regression here is what is really standing out to me. Tell me more about this. And the Knight of Cups, following your heart. Okay, so what I'm feeling for this is for some people, and we have the Star, lack of faith on the bottom of the deck. Some people, if people refuse to follow their hearts, if they refuse to grow, and they allow themselves to get bogged down in their old stagnant energy, they refuse, they stay in this energy, right? They cling to that negativity. They cling to that old programming. I mean, there are some who will remain in that old energy, and this is where I'm feeling like the energy of like the split, right? Those who move on into the 5D, the New Earth timeline, and those who want to stay in a different timeline, having a different experience. All right, I see that energy toward the end of Pluto and Aquarius, maybe as Pluto moves into that final round in Pisces. All right, that's where I really feel the split of that energy beginning to happen, is as Pluto moves into Pisces to really officially close out that age of Pisces energy. Your heart will lead you. down the path of your fulfillment if you have the courage to follow it. If people are choosing, right, choosing the path of a lack of growth, of stagnancy, of fear, which is their choice, their heart will still be attempting to lead them out. All right? Their hearts will be inviting them to find their bliss. But it's up to each and every single person. If you find yourself falling back into old patterns, old habits, let your heart lead you back home. All right? I'm noticing the horse here, right? I'm imagining the joy that somebody who enjoys horses feels when they climb up on that horse, right? The freedom, the connection. We have Six of Cups, comforting connection under that. Then we have Two of Cups, reversed, unhealthy attachment. And Five of Swords, shifting the energy. Yeah. And this is the energy here, right? This is a warning that for some, you can offer an invitation to people who are wanting to remain in stagnancy, who are choosing the lower vibratory path, the lower vibratory experience of Earth. You can offer them an invitation out, right? Through, like, not by doing the work for them, but by being supportive, being the example, offering resources. All right? But we have to be aware of where we are having unhealthy attachments and where that energy is actually, like, pulling us down. All right? Remember, we can offer someone a hand, but if they're so heavy that they're dragging us down with them instead of us being able to lift them up, in those situations, we got to let that go, right? We have to respect their free will to make the choice that they want to make for them. All right? And it's all just a matter of frequency. Okay? So they can move into the frequency anytime they wish, but we don't have to lower our frequency to reach them. Let them raise their frequency to reach us. All right? There's no rescuing. We're not doing the enabling and the rescuing anymore. All right, that's going to get some people into trouble here. We want to do things differently this time around. But we may also, I think, see the energy of some connections shifting, where it may have been this uneven energy, and we may have almost like given up on someone and being like, okay, they're not going to get it. Right? They're not willing to do the work. And then all of a sudden they buoy in vibration. All of a sudden the energy shifts. All of a sudden they're asking us, how did you meditate again? How did you do that? How did you let go of that resentment that you had? You know, like, it's all of a sudden that energy begins to shift, and it's nothing that we did, remember? Because we don't rescue, we don't enable. It's what they saw that all of a sudden has an effect that it hadn't had before. Their heart all of a sudden gets a little bit more open, and then they're ready to come through, and we may actually reclaim connections that we thought that we had lost as well, which is really beautiful. But it's through the surrendering of it that it returns. And this is where we're starting to live relationships differently as well. As we move into these very final years of Pluto and Aquarius here, I'm feeling as Pluto begins peeking into Pisces there. All right? 2023 or 2043 to 2044. We're really practicing these higher vibrational relationships templates. All right? These relationships that are no longer based on validation. They're no longer based on codependency. They're no longer based on need. They're simply one full heart, one full cup, acknowledging another. All right, living from this in this new beautiful energy. I love that. This higher vibration of relationship. Okay, let's see here. I want to pull clear. I want to pull a Shaman's Dream Oracle here. Clear. All right. We have Benefactor coming out, grace and generosity. And Lost Compass getting back to integrity. And so this is, by the way, overall energy outcomes of Pluto in Aquarius, we're going to say. Transmuting pain, Fool's Embrace. Ooh, I love these cards for us. And one more. Gathering around, the power of community. Beautiful cards here. A 3, 35, 22, and 26 with 9 balancing act on the bottom of the deck. And Will-o'-the-Wisp here. I love this too. Treasures hidden in the shadows. Right? Diving deep, doing that shadow work. And I love how it says we have balancing act here. And then under this we have straddling worlds. Wandering between realms. And I really feel like there is going to be a period of Pluto and Aquarius here where we do feel even more strongly like we are living in 2 worlds at once, right? Living in, we'll say, like the 4D and the 5D at the same time, straddling both of those worlds. And some people, like we said, may be afraid to fully jump into the 5D energy because of who they think they're going to leave behind. But as we saw, there are people that we might think we've counted out that rise up at the last minute. And it's going to be that trippy energy of living in both worlds at once. It's like, I feel like the way Spirit's showing me, it's almost going to be like we can see and function in either the 4D or the 5D. It's like we can observe one while we're functioning in the other, if that makes any sense. Like we can deal in the 4D while we're actually in the 5D. So it's like we're remaining in that vibration, but we're dealing in this lower dimension of energy, but anchored in this higher dimension. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'm feeling right now. Like we're in both at once, and we're aware that we're in both at once if we choose to be. And I don't know if it'll be the same if we're in the 4D looking into and dealing in the 5D. I don't know if that it would work the same. But we can be in that higher frequency still working with and dealing in the lower densities. But not allowing that lower density to affect us or infiltrate us, I guess you could say. Our vibration. I don't know. I don't know what else I want to say about that. I think that's it for right now on that. But we're really going to learn how to straddle in those worlds. If we desire to do so. I love this, getting back to integrity. Yeah, these cards really speak for themselves, right? Grace and generosity, getting back to integrity, transmuting pain, and the power of community. Boom, right there, all laid out. To close, I want to read from the Earth Warriors Oracle. Closing readout for Pluto and Aquarius. 2023 to 2044. Clear. Yeah, so that's what, 21 years. That Pluto will be in the sign of Aquarius. Tell me, let's get a closing reading for Pluto and Aquarius. Closing reading and guidance for Pluto in Aquarius, please. Getting back to integrity. What do you do when nobody is looking? Right? When you're not receiving the applause and the validation, who are you? What do you choose in those moments? Do you choose and do you make choices? Do you speak? Do you act in alignment with your own personal truth? Do you know what that truth is? Do you act and live in a state of grace and generosity, knowing that by giving you also receive? And by allowing yourself to receive, you are also giving, right? And I feel like this transmuting pain is connected to the community card too. Like, people are going to learn how to transmute their pain through the power of community. Healing with community. All right. I don't know that we're going to read all of these. Amaru is the card that came through on the top. We are going to read that. And this says the beautiful place. These are long, so I'm not sure. We also received the goddess of Totukan. Totehuacan, maybe. Totehuacan, that feels right. She guards the waters of life. And we received Kente, or Kinte, sweet paradox of empowering grace. I might slightly summarize these two, but I want to read Amaru. This is feeling really relevant here. And I love this on the bottom here. We have Mayu, Soma from the Galactic Heart. That's beautiful. Your dreams of a more beautiful world are not a product of childish fantasy nor idle imagination. They are true spiritual visions inspired by the universal heart, and dare we say the galactic heart, that yearns for divine paradise to be manifested in all worlds. You have a life purpose to assist in the creation of divine harmony in the world through sacred activism and the expression of your soul talents. Believe that the beautiful world you long for is not only possible, but part of your spiritual responsibility to create. And we're learning a lot about spiritual responsibility as well in these first few years of Pluto and Aquarius, when we also have Saturn and Pisces. If you guys didn't check out that video, I highly suggest that you do. Don't be scared to face a problem head on. You don't need to be willful about a situation, but in facing the issues, you shall simplify the complexity and recognize the practical steps that will create healing change. Keep your mind and heart open as you ask for unconditionally loving guidance as to how you best evoke divine healing in any situation. There is an outcome available to you that is far more beautiful and divinely inspired than what you can currently envision, and that's that Aquarian energy of thinking outside the box. Ask for divine help and trust unconditionally in the assistance that will lead you away from the limitations of your current thinking into the perfection of what the divine wishes for you and our world. All right, so that's discarding those old perceptions, those old belief structures, that old conditioning, right? Reconditioning ourselves. Trusting unconditionally. Keeping our hearts and our mind open. Seeking the divine in everything, in every choice, in every action. Seeing the divine in everything and everyone. It has been said that peace is not merely the absence of war. Earth warriors understand that we need to fight for peace in this world, using our strength, courage, creativity, intelligence, and will to continually align with the peaceful presence within. Saboteurs will want you to believe that peace is passive, that it involves denial or detachment from the world, that it isn't relevant, practical, or helpful, or doesn't create change, and that to rest in peace is some sort of unhealthy spiritual indulgence. They will try to convince you of these lies in order to keep you from accessing this powerful weapon against hate. A human being with peace in their heart sees more clearly, is more willing, able, and effective in acting on their spiritual guidance. Remember, decisive intuition, second card we had out here. Bringing a genuine and potent healing effect into the world. Such humans are harder to manipulate, distract, and disempower. Amaru is a term used by the first peoples of Australia to express the concept of paradise. In Aboriginal culture, there are said to be song lines that follow sacred pathways, stretching across the land. Each songline conveys a particular story through its song, and the language and interpretation of that story shared in each songline is unique. It takes contributions from all of the many and varied groups within Aboriginal culture for the assembling of the songlines into a coherent whole to be possible. The songlines could only be understood in their entirety by an individual if that person spoke all the languages and understood all the cultural nuances encoded in its length. The wisdom of the songlines can be instructive for the Amaru dreamers that we are, the ones who are passionate about creating paradise for all on earth. No one person can accomplish this on their own. If we work together, educating, encouraging, inspiring, and helping each other, not only on a personal level and spiritually, but with intelligent connection that allows for interdisciplinary and intercultural conversations, right? We can, as a whole, learn to follow the sacred pathways of the earth. We can work with her to manifest a human culture that enhances and expresses her divine wisdom and beauty. We each do our part together. We need inspired individuals who will engage with each other for our better and more beautiful world to continue to be birthed. When we honor what we ourselves have to offer and are willing to share it with others, and also honor what others have to offer and are willing to receive it, we will find fellow earth warriors with kindred spirits and helping hands in unexpected places. We will be able to assist each other in eschewing cynicism and boredom, and instead we will learn things from each other to become informed and empowered. We will not believe in the lie that we are somehow a victim of the systems in place. Instead, we can be inspired by our ability to evoke the healing change needed through our own inner transformation. Is this perfect or what, you guys? Sharing our talents and encouraging others to be generous with their gifts. We rally each other to the fulfillment of divine purpose. We embrace the healing innovations that are already happening and lend the power of our talents and resources, our voices, and our support only to that which belongs in paradise. Earth warriors, there are enough of us now. We do not need to wait any longer. We are already working in many fields, ready for this moment of empowered creation and divine opportunity. We are the wild divine visionaries who not only see, but do. Let us continue to rally and rise. And I'm going to read that part one more time. We are the wild divine visionaries who not only see, but do. Let us continue to rally and rise. And if that isn't a perfect conclusion to this video, I don't know what is. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you know somebody else who would enjoy it, share it with them. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're feeling these energies. If you feel so moved to donate, there are links below to do so, as well as a thanks button now on this video. And I am accepting personal clients again, so if you would like a personal reading, if you would like a healing session with me, astrology reading, any of the things that I offer, please reach out to me. My email is in the description box below, as well as my website. You guys are amazing. You are so beautiful. You are so powerful. And I am so excited for the next 21 years, right? It's going to be intense. It's going to be a wild ride. Pluto is not a planet. I was going to say Pluto's not a planet of ease and grace, but that's not true. We can receive ease and grace. We can move with ease and grace in any moment, through any time, if we're willing to release the resistance, right? Clear. Transformation, creation, and destruction, they go hand in hand, right? Before the phoenix can rise, it first must burn. The world's been on fire for some time now, right? But we will, I believe, during this transit of Pluto in Aquarius, we will begin that process of rising from the ashes and building something brand new in the wake here. Talk to you guys soon.